All right, so how many NBA basketball fans do we have in here? And for those NBA fans, do any of you guys know who Allen Iverson is? For those of you who know who he is, what can you tell me about him? Robbie.
He's one of the greatest players of all time, and he's like 5'11", 6 feet tall, so.
Exactly.
Impressive.
Not many NBA basketball players have racked up stats like that of Allen Iverson. These stats include 2001 League MVP. He's actually the smallest player to ever receive this award. 11-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star Game MVP, All-NBA First Team, All-NBA Second Team, All-NBA Third Team, NBA Rookie of the Year, All-NBA All-Rookie First Team, 4-time scoring champion, 3-time All-NBA Steals leader, and had his number 3 jersey retired by the Philadelphia 76ers just a month ago. And by the way, he did this at a height short of 6 feet and a weight short of 165 pounds, which is pretty impressive, I'd say. So therefore, I think it's safe to conclude he is hands down the best small player to ever play the game. And Iverson's career stats are just a glimpse of what he accomplished throughout his career. I mean, LeBron James, currently arguably the best player in the world at this time, said that he's pound for pound probably the greatest to ever pick up a basketball, and that's a pretty notable fact. And if you've seen him play, you just know he's just so damn quick. He's so speedy on the court. He's just unguardable. And no defender was actually able to truly guard Iverson. I mean, that being said, he's really quick and really speedy, so it's very difficult for defenders to stay in front of him. And if you look at his highlight tapes, when he started his career out, I mean, he had, like, I just lost my train of thought, wait. Yeah, so defenders would guard him close, and he would just blow right by them and just get to the basket, like, draw the foul, score a layup, pull for a jumper. However, if you notice, like, later in his career, like, defenders had to start, like playing out on him, so he was forced to shoot the jumper more often, and therefore improved how he was adaptable in his game because he had to work on his jump shot and his three-point field goals, and that can be seen because his field goal percentage went up, and so it just proved how he's adaptive. And he had many moves, like he just had so many moves. He had crossovers, spin moves, between the legs, around the back, all that, and his most infamous move was a crossover where he'd basically lead one way, get the defender going that way, he'd flash the other way, and just lead the defender to the dust and go to the basket. And one of his most notable moments, actually, in his NBA career was when, as a rookie, actually, he was matched up against Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, who was at the peak of his career at that time. And then here comes his rookie out the court, and he takes him one-on-one. And he does this move twice on one play, just crosses him over both ways, and shoots a jumper in his face and just drains it. So, I mean, that's pretty notable. You got this guy who's at the peak of his career, then here comes this 5'11", just rookie, and just absolutely just schools him. So I thought that's pretty cool. And as I said, he's a very adaptable player, and if you watch his highlight tapes again, you'll notice how he does this crossover only at the beginning of his career. Because he was actually, it was arguable, it was kind of a controversial move because he kind of carried the ball, he kind of got under it, so refs started calling carry for it, so he had to actually stop doing that move altogether. So he was forced to do other moves, and he was able to just adapt to different moves and had to compensate and do different stuff to get by defenders and get to the basket and whatnot. And also, as I said, he had to work on his jump shot a lot more because he's given a lot more space, so he improved his jump shot ability and three-point percentage, which was also notable how he was very adaptable. And actually, what's very interesting is he actually played two guard. Most basketball players were that short play point guard position because, you know, like most shooting guards are like 6'5", 6'6" per se, but he was only 5'11", 6 foot. So, and he was actually switched this position simply because he was a scorer. The shooting guard position is a scoring position. And he was actually one of the most prolific scorers in NBA history, and he's actually, I think he has the 6th highest scoring average of all time. So, I mean, that just shows how he had to highlight, how the coaches highlighted his scoring ability and switched him to that position despite him being undersized. And he was a one-man show in Philly. Like, it's simple as that. He was the one-man show in Philly. And Iverson's been deemed a selfish player, but I'm not here to talk about his character. That can be another discussion. I'm here to talk about his talent. And this proved his NBA talent is because he just simply took over NBA games. When other teams were playing Philadelphia, the goal was to shut down Allen Iverson. If you shut down Allen Iverson, then you stop Philly. And he actually carried his team throughout the 2001 playoffs all the way to the finals, despite battling multiple injuries and just being constantly hurt. Like, he had something like 20-plus injuries throughout his entire career. He was always banged up on the court, but he was very tough and just always got up and just shook it off. That was also really cool. And he was also, I've talked about offensively how he's a really good scorer and how he's really good with the ball, but he was also really good without the ball. As I said, he was just really quick, so he was always running around the floor, always able to get open, always able to cut to the basket, catch the ball into the basket, get a quick dunk or layup and whatnot. So that talks about how he's good on offense. He was also a very good defensive player. As I said, he led the league in steals 4 times, 4 NBA seasons. And he actually scored a lot of points off of his defensive plays because, you know, he'd guard the passing lane, just steal passes, blow through defenders, and just race to the other end just to get a quick layup or dunk and whatnot. So he actually won a lot of, he won a couple games off of steals. In 2005 against the Washington Wizards, there was, I think, 2 seconds left in the game, and then the Wizards were inbounding the ball on the other side of the court, and then here comes Iverson, just races through, catches the passing lane, catches the pass that's getting inbounded, and races down the other end, and then just scores the layup. And he's actually been deemed the most effective small 2 guard to ever play the game, which is notable because he started and finished his career at the point guard position, but played the peak of his career at the shooting guard position, despite being incredibly undersized. So I thought that was very notable. And he was such a good scorer because, again, he was unguardable, and the only way to really stop him that coaches noticed other teams was to double team him. But however, that's not really a good strategy because obviously leaves someone else open. So if he's double teamed and leaves someone else open, he just dump it off for the assist and that player would score. So really, that's not really an effective solution. And lastly, a poll was taken in the year 2005 asking if he was the hardest player to guard in the NBA, and 48% of the NBA said Iverson, and 69 of these players were shooting guards who were playing directly against him. So just another statistic showing how he was unguardable. And that basically concludes my presentation. If there's any questions you guys have or anything you want me to clarify on, I'd be glad to do so. Thanks.
Thank you.